Hi, welcome to my live video. I'm going live now and don't expect me to be very exciting. I am not one of those fast talking people, and most likely there will be a dead time, and also we don't have a specific subject to speak of. We will stay on quite a generic. Why do I say we? First of all, we, because it's me, you together. As you start listening, or you are intending to listen what I say, or we become together. Okay, so what is that usually my channel is about? My channel is about philosophy most of the time, but not that academic philosophy, extremely theoretical. No, my understanding of philosophy has always been to find the connection with life. Let me give you an example. For instance, if you study about the society, about men and women living together in a structure, orderly structure, like could be the society you live in, it could be the institutions that are a part of these societies. No, the relationships are not spontaneous. So it's a society in that sense. They are structured according to their aims and all that. Now, if you study in theory about what human being is, you cannot avoid to see the man, the individual, the group of people into a context, the context of their relationships. So in a society, in a particular society. So you have to, you will feel the need to create a link between your understandings and your actions, because emotion and understandings will connect you to actions, will affect your action, what you're doing, your behavior. So we were saying, if you are interested in the psychology, you will necessarily face the question of society. As we have said, an individual is not isolated from what is happening around himself, even though he lives in a kind of isolation. Okay, so philosophy as that thinking process to create a higher level understanding of what it is. Okay, it's connected to what to do. That's it. So you will, for example, trying to explain the society structures and the society forces according to Marx. Okay? Marx is not a psychologist, but you need to go beyond the I, okay, the mind, to see the world outside. Or others like Durkheim or Max Weber. So people who have looked at the society to study especially the relationships, the structure of the relationships, the forces acting in this society. So there is a moment in which in your psychological understanding, you stop. You cannot go beyond without crossing a wider aspect of life, which is that of society. And, of course, this is one aspect. So, personal evolution, individual evolution, and also the relationship with the context, the social context, the natural context, human action, an individual human action, because it is quantitatively enormous, like for example, many individuals dumping waste into the nature. So that individual action of dumping waste has an effect on nature. I get up in the morning and take the car to go somewhere. How many people do that? How many million people do the same thing? Which means my individual actions quantitatively reproduced because of the amount of people that do the same action has an impact in the world. So if we experience a difficulty in life, a personal difficulty, it is of course linked to our abilities, to our mental tools, to our mental abilities to overcome it. But the kind of difficulties and the kind of tools that are available to us, they're determined by the time we live in, by the epoch, by the social context we are in. We're not totally free, as in we're not totally naked. When we come into this world exists already. The relationships before our coming, before our individual existence, are already there. We enter them, we create new ones in the sense that we manipulate those that exist, we modify them, or we invent new ones. But the fact is, when we come into this world as individuals, there is already a world, there is already a structure. On the other hand, the main difference, but we see, because you can say the same of the animals, okay? You can say the same of everything that come to life. But let's talk about the animals, for example. When human beings in relation to animals are much more defenseless. They don't have defense at all. As in, if you're born in nature, on your own, you pretty much die. Okay? As a human being, there is a long time before you can start acquire a certain independence, while you cannot even stand on your feet. You cannot see, and you cannot eat by yourself. You cannot get the food. So there is need for protection, for care, since you are coming to light. This is a situation of weakness in relation to animals who could survive in nature. As they're born, they survive. So they need much less care from somebody else, or someone else, or something else. There's not. So man can survive because they build their own world within the existing world. In a city there is nothing natural, and everything is man-made. We sit in chairs that are man-made. We stay in houses which are man-made. We wear clothes which are man-made. So everything, our world is man-made. Without this man-made world, there would be basically no existence. That separates us from nature. But at the same time, we are natural. We are from nature. We come from nature. Our nature, there is a basic, a fundamental, something which is very, very originary at the root of our existence, okay? Which makes us, we build ourselves in a way instead of another. Now, some others have tried to ascertain which are those basic needs which transcends which are beyond the physiological needs of a human being. So, what we're doing here now, we make a break. Taking a moment, as I told you, this is a live, so there'll be dead time, but immediately I can tell you this. You have to focus. You cannot take all this at the same time. You need to focus on one aspect at a time, on one point of view at a time. You must not see all the points of view at the same time. But when you develop your understanding of one point of view, and then you develop the understanding of another point of view, when you keep advancing in these different points of view, they'll come together. And if they come together, you are on a higher hill. You start seeing from a higher level. You live better. Most of the time, what people are trying to avoid is pain. Is that right? Pain is the most feared event in our life. And actually, pain is not easy to accept. I'll let you to think about this a moment. Pain. Pain is for life, not for death, not for anti-survival. Pain is pro-survival. In the sense that whenever you feel pain, you are called to think. There is something to be aware of, which without pain you would not be aware of. And if you were not aware of, that thing could kill you, could destroy you, could harm you, could hurt you, could harm you, could hurt you. So, pain as a function. At the most basic level, one explains pain as a child. When you, as a child, approach the fire for the first time, and there is nobody there watching you, and you go near, and you get hot, but you still go near, and you burn yourself, you have learned something. Without the pain caused by the fire, if the body would not feel the pain, if the body was not feeling the pain, you would have burned yourself without being aware of it. So pain, at this basic level, it's pro-survival. It tells you, it informs you. Now, we think pain as useless at a certain stage. We suffer, and we ask, why? Why me? Right? And at the same time, it is because we don't understand that that pain at a higher level, at a mental level, a psychological level, is telling you something in the same way it was telling you when you were a child going near the fire and get burned. So, pain, joy, pleasure. Of course we like pleasure. Of course we research pleasure. But attention, because pleasure can be more destructive than pain. I will not tell you why now, but I'd ask you to think about this. How pleasure, it's more anti-survival, it can be more dangerous than pain. On this, I give you a hint. Right, let me tell you about this now. This is a break from what we were saying. This is a live thing, so we go a bit like this is a vaping machine with vaporizer. So you put the liquid, the heat hits the liquid, and you inhale that thing. It could be nicotine, it could be nicotine less. The image on this. Now, this one is the vaping. Why am I boring you with this now? Okay. Let me take another thing. Coffee. Okay, and this cup is nice